written to obviously Titus, who is a young guy, much like Timothy. He's a young pastor in a church, and he's been left back in Crete to help grow and straighten out things in Crete. And so we start off by seeing that Paul is writing this letter. And as Paul is writing this letter, and he's writing it to Titus, he starts off very early in verse 1. He says, Paul, a servant of God and an apostle of Christ Jesus, for the faith of God's elect, the knowledge of the truth that leads to godliness. So we see right off the bat, why is he writing this? He's writing this for the elect in Crete, and he's writing it why? He's writing it for their faith and knowledge, and those things lead to godliness. See, we're going to see throughout this entire book, it's a short book, it's only 3 chapters long, but we're going to see of what it means to be doing good, why doing good matters. And we're going to see that it's not doing good for the sake of good, but rather because of the grace afforded to us and the saving grace of Jesus Christ. Because of that, and because of our faith in him, because of our knowledge of the truth of the true gospel, then our godliness pours out of us. Good deeds pour out of us because of those two things, not standing alone. And so when we see that Paul is writing to Titus, he's saying, we've got some problems here in the church, and we need to get these straightened out so that they can be strong, so that this church can be strong in the faith and assurance of who Jesus Christ is, and can be gospel sharers moving forward. You see, the problem that they have in the church, and we're going to see this throughout the whole book, is that they've got some people in the church that are causing waywardness. They claim to know who Jesus is. They claim to be believers, but they're not living it. Verse 16 of chapter 1 says, they claim to know God, but by their actions they deny him. They are detestable, disobedient, and unfit for doing anything good. Now, especially in a place like Crete, a place known for being lazy and sluggards and gluttons and all of these things, there are people that claim to know the truth of who Jesus is and what he has done. But because of other reasons, they are still living their old life. And so they claim to know God, but by their actions they deny him. And that denial is causing a problem with sharing the gospel, because when people are sharing the gospel, they're pointing back to these people and they're saying, what about those people over there? They claim to be of the way. They claim to be Christians. They claim to be following Christ. And this is what they're doing. And so Paul's going to outline 3 things that need to happen in order to right the church. The first thing that we're going to talk about in chapter 1 is we've got to get right leadership. Our leaders have to reflect the characters of God. And if they don't, they need to be removed from leadership. That's step 1. Step 2 is we need to do good in relationship with others. We need to do right in relationship with others. We need to learn how to live amongst each other and encourage others to do good. And then number 3, in chapter 3, we're going to talk about why doing good matters. And it's not doing good for good's sake, but it's doing good because of that grace afforded to us by the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ. So I hope you stay tuned with us.